The year was 2023. And on a crisp autumn morning in New York City, Kelly Clarkson walked onto the set of her talk show, The Kelly Clarkson Show, wearing a simple black jumpsuit. And the internet stopped. Within hours, social media was flooded. Headlines screamed. Fans gasped. Commenters speculated. Because standing before the cameras was a version of Kelly that the world had never quite seen before. Visible. Dramatic. Undeniable. 60 pounds lighter. But here's the thing about before and after photos that the internet loves so much, they tell you almost nothing about the journey. They freeze a single moment in time, strip away all the messy, painful, human context, and present transformation as if it happened overnight. As if one day she simply woke up and decided to be smaller. That's not what happened. Kelly Clarkson's 60-pound transformation is not a weight loss story. It's a survival story. It's a story about a woman who looked at her own health, her own future, her own body, and made a quiet, private decision to fight for herself in a way she never had before. This was never about a dress size. Never about fitting into Hollywood's impossible standards. Never about the tabloids that had been commenting on her body for 2 decades. This was about a pre-diabetes diagnosis that scared her straight. This was about a divorce that leveled her. This was about moving to a city that quite literally made her walk, step by step, block by block, toward a version of herself she hadn't seen in years. And this is the real, honest, unvarnished story of how she got there. From American Idol to the spotlight. Long before New York City. Long before the talk show. Long before the diagnosis. There was a 20-year-old girl from Fort Worth, Texas, who showed up to a karaoke bar audition in 2002 with a voice that could shake the rafters. Her name was Kelly Brianne Clarkson. And she was about to become the first ever winner of American Idol. It was a phenomenon that America had never seen before. Millions of viewers watched her journey week after week. They voted in record numbers. They fell in love with her powerful voice, her girl-next-door charm, her vulnerability. She wasn't polished. She wasn't manufactured. She was just real. And when she won, she became an overnight sensation. Her debut single, A Moment Like This, shot to #1. Her debut album, Thankful, went triple platinum. She was on top of the world, but also, in a way, trapped in it. Because from that moment forward, Kelly Clarkson's body was public property. Throughout her career, she experienced what so many female celebrities endure, a constant, merciless commentary about her weight. Tabloids photographed her from unflattering angles. Headlines called her curvy when they were being nice, and worse when they weren't. Critics dissected her appearance alongside her music, as if one had anything to do with the other. She was praised when she lost weight. Shamed when she gained it. And through all of it, she remained remarkably composed. I've always been confident in my skin, she said in an interview during those early years. Losing weight was never about looking a certain way, it was about feeling better. But feeling better, as she would soon discover, was something her body was increasingly struggling to do. The struggles nobody talked about. Behind every public smile is a private battle. And by the early 2020s, Kelly Clarkson was fighting a war on multiple fronts, most of which the public knew nothing about. Let's start with the biggest one, her marriage. In 2013, Kelly married talent manager Brandon Blackstock. They had 2 children together, daughter River Rose and son Remington Alexander. On the surface, it looked like a happy Hollywood family. But privately, cracks were forming. In June 2020, Kelly filed for divorce. And what followed was not a clean break, it was a brutal, 2-year legal battle that dragged through the courts until its finalization in 2022. Custody arrangements. Property disputes. Accusations, counter-accusations. The kind of divorce that leaves emotional scars that don't heal quickly. Kelly was now a single mother of 2 young children. She was the primary breadwinner. She was hosting a daily talk show, which required immense energy and presence. She was still recording music, touring, and fulfilling professional obligations. And she was doing all of this while navigating one of the most painful personal experiences a person can go through. But that wasn't all. For years, Kelly had also been quietly battling thyroid disease and an autoimmune condition. These are invisible illnesses, the kind that people don't see, but that profoundly affect every aspect of daily life. Fatigue, brain fog, inflammation, unexplained weight gain, or an inability to lose it despite effort. In 2018, she had actually managed to lose 37 pounds by changing her diet to manage her thyroid condition. At the time, she explained that a combination of thyroid medication, a protein-heavy diet, and exercise had helped her shed the weight. But then came the stress. The divorce. The sleepless nights. The emotional eating. The sheer exhaustion of being a working single mom in the public eye. The weight crept back on. And this time, it came with a warning she could no longer ignore. The turning point, pre-diabetes. It was a routine checkup. But the results were anything but routine. Kelly's blood sugar levels were elevated. Her A1C, a marker that measures average blood sugar over several months, had crept into a danger zone. The diagnosis, pre-diabetes. Now, pre-diabetes is a term that gets thrown around a lot, but here's what it actually means. Your blood sugar levels are higher than normal, but not yet high enough to be classified as type 2 diabetes. It's a warning sign. A red flag. A wake-up call. For Kelly, it was the moment everything changed. Because this wasn't about weight anymore. This wasn't about tabloids or public opinion or fitting into a designer dress for a red carpet. This was about her long-term health. This was about avoiding a chronic disease that can lead to heart attacks, strokes, kidney failure, nerve damage, blindness, amputations. The list of complications is terrifying. This was about being alive. And being present. She thought about her 2 children. She thought about the future. She thought about the trajectory she was on and the trajectory she wanted to be on. And she made a decision. Not a dramatic declaration. Not a social media announcement. Just a quiet, internal promise to herself. I'm going to take my life back. She sat down with her doctor and they mapped out a plan. Not a crash diet. Not a punishing workout regimen. Not the kind of extreme measure that produces quick results but collapses under its own weight. A sustainable plan tailored to her specific body, her specific health conditions, her specific reality. That plan included prescribed medication to help her metabolism function properly, something she has been refreshingly honest about. It also included a complete restructuring of her relationship with food, movement, and stress. I'm not trying to be skinny, she told an interviewer later. I'm trying to be healthy. The New York move that changed everything. And then came the move. In early 2023, Kelly made a decision that would reshape her life in ways she didn't fully anticipate. She relocated her family from Los Angeles to New York City to produce the Kelly Clarkson Show on the East Coast. On paper, it was a professional move. But it turned out to be something far more profound. Los Angeles is a car city. You drive everywhere. You get in your SUV, you sit in traffic, you park, you enter a building, you repeat. The concept of incidental movement, walking from place to place without consciously deciding to exercise, barely exists. New York City is the exact opposite. In New York, you walk. You walk to the subway. You walk from the subway to your destination. You walk to meetings, to coffee shops, to the grocery store. You walk because walking is the most efficient way to get around. You walk because the city demands it. You walk because everyone else is walking. Kelly has said that she didn't set out to increase her exercise. She just moved. And the movement added up. Suddenly, she was logging thousands of steps a day without even trying. A stroll through Central Park on a lunch break. A walk to the studio. An evening meander through her neighborhood to clear her head. I started walking so much more, she said simply. And that simple statement holds the key to so much of her transformation. There's a concept in health and fitness called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's the energy you burn through everyday movement that isn't formal exercise. Walking to the mailbox. Taking the stairs. Pacing while you talk on the phone. For most people, NEAT accounts for a significant portion of daily calorie burn. Kelly didn't join a gym. She didn't hire a celebrity trainer. She didn't do extreme boot camp classes. She just did what millions of New Yorkers do every single day: she walked. And that steady, consistent, daily activity, combined with her dietary changes and medical support, created a calorie deficit that compounded over months. Not dramatic. Not flashy. Just effective. The city itself became her gym. The sidewalks became her treadmill. The rhythm of her footsteps through Manhattan became a meditation, a way to process everything she was going through while moving her body forward, quite literally, one step at a time. How she actually lost the weight. So what exactly did Kelly Clarkson do? Let's break it down into 3 pillars, because understanding the specifics helps us appreciate the simplicity of what she actually achieved. Pillar 1, Diet. Kelly adopted a lectin-free eating style. Now, lectins are proteins found in many foods, particularly grains, beans, and certain vegetables like tomatoes and peppers. For most people, they're harmless. But for people with autoimmune conditions or thyroid issues, lectins can trigger inflammation, digestive discomfort, and metabolic disruption. Kelly, working with her doctor, removed foods like wheat, corn, and certain legumes from her diet. She focused instead on whole, anti-inflammatory foods, leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, lean proteins like fish and chicken, and healthy fats like avocado and olive oil. She eliminated processed food. She cut out excess sugar, which is crucial for managing pre-diabetes. She learned to eat in a way that nourished her body rather than provoking it. The goal was never restriction for the sake of weight loss. It was eating to reduce inflammation, support her thyroid, and stabilize her blood sugar. The weight loss was a side effect of getting healthier. Pillar 2, Movement. As we've discussed, walking became her primary form of exercise. But it wasn't an obsessive daily requirement. It wasn't a punishment. It was just part of her life. Some days she walked 5,000 steps. Some days 15,000. The key was consistency, not intensity. She didn't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights. She just needed to keep moving. And because New York City made walking natural and unavoidable, she didn't have to rely on willpower. She didn't have to drag herself to a gym. She just lived her life, and the activity was woven into it. Pillar 3, Medical Support. This is the piece that Kelly has been most transparent about, and also the piece that is most important to normalize. Kelly worked closely with her doctor to manage her thyroid condition and blood sugar regulation. That included prescribed medication to help her body break down sugars and regulate metabolism. She has been explicit that this was not Ozempic, the weight loss drug that was having a cultural moment at the same time her transformation came to light. The medication she took was specifically prescribed for her thyroid condition, not as a weight loss shortcut. "I take medication that is prescribed for my thyroid," she clarified. "It helps my body break down sugars and regulate metabolism. It's not Ozempic. It's something my doctor prescribed for my condition." Her honesty here is incredibly refreshing. She didn't pretend she did it through sheer willpower alone. She acknowledged that her body needed help functioning properly, and she got that help. That's not cheating. That's not taking the easy way out. That's being smart. That's being honest. That's being responsible. And here's what that honesty achieves: it removes the shame around medical interventions. It encourages people to talk to their own doctors instead of suffering in silence. It normalizes the idea that weight management is complex, and that there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Over a period of roughly 2 to 3 years, from 2022 through 2024, Kelly lost approximately 60 pounds. Slowly. Steadily. Without crash diets. Without surgery. Without extreme measures. Just consistency. Medical honesty. and a city that made her walk. What Kelly says about the journey. What strikes people most about Kelly Clarkson's transformation isn't just how she looks. It's how she talks about it. She doesn't gloat. She doesn't perform. She doesn't posture. She simply shares, with a vulnerability that has become her signature as a talk show host, and her strength as a human being. "The weight loss is amazing," she said in an interview. "But the real transformation has been learning to embrace who I am." She has spoken extensively about the mental shifts that accompanied the physical ones. Learning to stop tying her self-worth to a number on a scale. Building a relationship with food that felt nourishing rather than punishing. Finding joy in movement rather than dreading it. For someone who spent decades having her body commented on by the media, by fans, by people who felt entitled to an opinion, that internal shift is perhaps the most remarkable transformation of all. She has also been refreshingly honest about the complexity of the journey. She has admitted that some days are harder than others. That she doesn't always love what she sees in the mirror. That healing is not linear, and that self-acceptance is an ongoing practice, not a finish line. "I don't always feel amazing," she said. "And that's okay. It's not about being perfect. It's about being honest." That honesty is what makes her journey so powerful. It's not a polished, Instagram-perfect transformation. It's a real, messy, human story of a woman learning to take care of herself in a world that has always had something to say about her body. And that's a story we can all relate to. What we can all learn. Kelly Clarkson's journey teaches us something essential: there is no single path to transformation. Her route involved a health scare, a life upheaval, a city change, medical support, dietary shifts, and years of consistent walking. It was messy and human and real. And that's exactly the point. Your path will look different from hers. It should. Because you are different from her. Your body is different. Your circumstances are different. Your challenges and your strengths are unique to you. What matters is not the specifics of her diet or her exercise routine. What matters is the principle that health is worth fighting for. That transformation is possible, but not through quick fixes. That real change takes time, patience, and honesty. Start where you are. Not where you wish you were. Work with your body, not against it. Understand your unique needs and limitations. Get the medical support you need without shame. Find movement that fits your real life, not someone else's ideal. And above all, do it for your health. For your energy. For the people you love. For the years you want to have ahead of you. Not for the approval of a world that will comment on your body no matter what you do. Kelly Clarkson chose herself. Not to please the tabloids. Not to silence the critics. But because she looked in the mirror one day and realized that she was the only one who could save herself. And she did. Conclusion. Kelly Clarkson is not a weight loss icon. She's not a before and after photo. She's not a cautionary tale or a success story to be packaged and sold. She is a woman, a singer, a mother, a daughter, a friend who faced the hardest chapter of her life and decided, quietly and bravely, to write a different ending. 60 pounds gone. Pre-diabetes reversed. A new city. A new outlook. A new life. But the real weight she lost wasn't the number on the scale. It was the burden of caring what other people think. It was the pressure to be perfect. It was the shame of needing help. She lost that weight too. And that's the transformation worth celebrating. If this video moved you today, if Kelly's story reminded you that your own health is worth fighting for, then please, take a moment. Take a breath. Take a step. Literally. Walk around the block. Call your doctor. Cook yourself a meal that nourishes. Do one small thing today that your future self will thank you for. And if you'd like to see more real, honest transformation stories like this one, hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to this channel. We post new stories every week, not about quick fixes or overnight miracles, but about real people making real changes, one step at a time. Thank you for watching. And remember, your journey is your own. Walk it at your own pace. But don't stop walking. See you in the next one. Please don't hesitate to ask anything. I read all comments and am always glad to respond to your questions.